There is a power within you that holds the key to all abundance. Money is not your master, but your obedient servant when rightly spoken to and rightly claimed. The supply you seek is already yours, but it is locked behind the door of your own doubts, fears, and idle words. Speak the word, and the door shall swing wide open. Man's word is his wand. It shapes his world, draws unseen forces into form, and summons prosperity out of the invisible. Many cry out, "I need more money." Yet they speak it as a complaint, not as a command. They repeat words of lack, of struggle, of frustration, and so they reap what they sow. But when the word is spoken with conviction, when it is aligned with the law of the divine, money must appear. There is no maybe in spiritual law. The law works by faith. Not begging, not wishing, not doubting, but a steady, bold declaration. I am supplied. I am prospered. I am open to infinite riches. You are not asking the universe, you are announcing what already is. The rich man does not ask for wealth. He walks in the confidence of possession. And so must you, even before it appears. For the world around you is only a reflection of the world within. Every day, every hour, you are planting seeds with your words. Are they seeds of gold or seeds of thorns? Speak not of your debts, for the more you repeat them, the deeper they root. Speak instead of divine compensation, of miraculous circulation, of invisible wealth finding its way into visible form. Say, I do not chase money. Money finds me, money flows to me in rivers of gold. I rejoice in the rich, fertile soil of abundance under my feet. There are those who try the law once or twice, and when nothing changes, they return to fear. But spiritual power is not swayed by impatience. You must be as steady as the sun. You must declare your truth over and over, not to convince God, but to align your own heart with the eternal laws of supply. Every repetition is a key turning in the lock. Every word of truth is a chisel breaking the stone of limitation. Do not say it once and forget it. Do not speak it with doubt. Repeat it until your bones believe it. Repeat it until the energy shifts. Repeat it until the money comes. For it shall come, not through struggle, but through surrender, not by force, but by faith. The riches of the universe are waiting to rush into your experience like a tidal wave of gold, but they will not come where the gate is closed with fear. Open the gate with your word. Speak boldly. Speak daily. Speak unfailingly. Repeat it, not because the world needs to hear it, but because your soul does. Repeat it until the money comes. Your words shape your financial reality. This is not merely a poetic phrase or a nice idea to uplift your mood. It is a spiritual law, as certain and unchanging as the law of gravity. Every word you speak is a command sent forth into the unseen, into the vast invisible substance that molds itself according to your declaration. Most people do not realize the immense power of their daily conversations, thoughts, and affirmations. They think aloud carelessly, describing what is, complaining about what isn't, and expressing fear about what might be. But in doing so, they are unknowingly creating their next moment, their next experience, their next financial outcome. Your world is your word made flesh. If you speak words of struggle, poverty, and lack, you invite those exact conditions into your affairs. I never have enough. Money doesn't come easily. I can't afford that. These phrases are not harmless complaints. They are affirmations. They are seeds planted in the fertile soil of your subconscious. And the soil does not judge the seed. It does not say, this is a good one, this is bad. It simply grows what is planted. If the seed is one of poverty, the harvest will reflect it. That is the law. To change your financial life, you must first change your language. Not just occasionally, not just when you're feeling spiritual, but continuously, persistently, until the new truth becomes second nature. You must speak abundance into being. You must declare, not describe. There is a vast difference. To describe is to repeat what your physical eyes see. To declare is to call forth what your spiritual eyes know to be true. The invisible must become more real to you than the visible. Only then can the visible world shift to match the new inner picture. Every word carries vibration. When you speak of wealth, ease, and flow, Your voice sends out a frequency that aligns with those very things. When you say, "Money flows to me easily and frequently," you are not lying, you are instructing. You are giving direction to the spiritual energy that forms your world. Even if your outer situation appears unchanged, the vibration you've released is already setting things in motion. That is why you must not wait for proof before you believe. Belief comes first. Manifestation follows. Most people reverse the order. They say, "I'll believe I'm wealthy when I see the money." But the law does not operate on visible evidence. It operates on spiritual conviction. Speak as if it were already so, and it shall be. Speak wealth into your bank account, into your wallet, into your mailbox. Speak it over your business, your job, your creative projects, and do it with authority. Not with pleading, not with hoping, but with certainty. Say, "I am rich," and let no contradictory word pass your lips. There is no neutral language. Every word either builds or breaks. That is why it is so important to guard your speech. Casual words, half jokes about being broke, light-hearted remarks about financial struggle, these are not innocent, they plant roots. The subconscious takes them seriously. When you laugh and say, "I'm always broke by the end of the month," your subconscious does not understand sarcasm. It takes that statement as instruction. It will then make sure to deliver that reality back to you, month after month. It is not enough to occasionally say a positive affirmation. The word must be consistent, clear, and repeated with faith. Think of a sculptor working with marble. One tap of the chisel does not reveal the form. It takes many, steady strikes in the same direction to reveal the masterpiece. So it is with your words. You must continue to speak the truth of your financial abundance, even when the outer world looks unchanged. Especially then, because that is when the testing comes. That is when the old picture begins to crack. The temptation to speak of how things really are must be resisted. For that is the trap, using your words to describe what you see, instead of using them to create what you desire. The word precedes the thing. Always. You cannot have what you do not first speak. Even your inner conversations matter. The things you silently say to yourself about money, about bills, about your income, are shaping your path as much as your spoken words. "I'll never get out of this debt. Things never work out for me. Rich people are greedy." All these silent scripts play a role in forming the pattern of your financial life. They are like prayers you didn't realize you were praying. And they are answered faithfully because the universe is obedient. Your voice carries authority over your life. When you declare that you are prosperous, you are not lying. You are aligning. You are coming into agreement with the greater truth of your being. Lack is the illusion. Scarcity is a misperception. Your true nature is abundance. Your source is unlimited. And your word is the bridge between the invisible supply and your visible experience. That bridge must be built with intention. Do not wait until your situation improves to change your speech. Change your speech, and your situation will follow. Speak money into your life. Speak open doors, divine appointments, unexpected income. Speak business expansion, overflowing accounts, financial peace. The money may not come from where you expect, but it will come. If your word remains steadfast, if you plant a seed and dig it up every day to check its progress, it will never grow. The same is true with your declarations. Speak them. Water them with faith, and leave the how to the higher power. There is no poverty in spirit. There is no shortage in the mind of God. All limitation begins with man's belief in separation and lack. But your word reconnects you to the flow. It is the tool, the channel, the key. Use it with care, with purpose, with reverence. Every "I am" is an invocation. When you say, "I am wealthy," heaven and earth begin to move to fulfill that command. When you say, "I am always short on money," that command too is honored. You are the authority. You are the creator. And your words are the first act of creation. What you repeatedly affirm, you eventually believe. And what you believe, you experience. You cannot consistently affirm abundance and remain in lack. The vibration will begin to shift. Your energy will align with higher opportunities, new channels, ideas, and inspirations. Money will begin to appear in ways you never expected. Not because the world changed, but because your word changed the world around you. You must speak the word before the evidence shows up. Just as you flip the light switch before the room brightens, your declaration comes before the demonstration. Faith is the unseen certainty, and faith speaks, faith declares. Faith holds its ground when everything in the outer world says otherwise. When you understand the power of your word, you will no longer speak carelessly. You will no longer affirm lack just because it seems real. You will understand that every time you say, "I can't afford that," you are writing it into your script. And every time you say, "I always have more than enough," you are authoring a new chapter of wealth. Words are not mere sounds. They are the vibration of belief given form. They are spiritual tools. They are the blueprint. Just as an architect would not build without a plan, you must not live without a clear word. Your finances are the house your words have built. If the structure is weak, reinforce it with stronger declarations. If the foundation is cracked, pour the concrete of truth until it sets firm. Say what you mean to live. Say what you mean to earn. Say what you mean to receive. And keep saying it, without flinching, without second-guessing, without delay. The word has power. The word is the beginning. The word shapes all things. Speak abundance, not lack. This principle may seem simple, even obvious, but it is one of the most powerful and overlooked truths in the manifestation of prosperity. Every word spoken is a seed, and the type of seed determines the harvest. When you speak from a consciousness of abundance, you align yourself with the universal law of supply. When you speak from a consciousness of lack, you cut yourself off from the very thing you desire. The tongue is a tool of creation, and the world you live in, especially your financial world, is a reflection of what you have been declaring over time. The mistake most people make is speaking from the conditions they currently see, rather than the reality they wish to create. They describe their situation instead of declaring a new one. "I can't pay my bills. Money never stays with me. I'm drowning in debt." These phrases are so common that people don't even realize they are harmful. They believe they are just telling the truth, being realistic, or venting. But in truth, they are doing much more than that. They are giving instructions to the universe. They are reinforcing a vibration. They are broadcasting their order to the infinite supply. And the universe always says yes to your dominant vibration, not your occasional desire. To speak abundance is to understand that words are not empty expressions but tools of spiritual precision. You are not simply making yourself feel better by speaking positively about money. You are activating a law that responds with mathematical certainty. If you speak lack, you vibrate lack, and what you vibrate, you attract. If you speak abundance, even before it appears, you begin to resonate with it. You shift the energy field around you. New ideas come. Unexpected doors open. Resources you didn't even know existed begin to move in your direction. But it all begins with your word. Most people have trained themselves to react to what is instead of claiming what can be. They think, "How can I say I'm wealthy when I have no money?" The answer is simple: you are not lying. You are choosing the higher truth. The spiritual truth is that abundance is your birthright. You were never meant to struggle, to live in fear of bills, to feel small when it comes to money. These are conditions taught by the world, reinforced by family, culture, and past experience. But they are not the truth. The truth is that there is more than enough for everyone, and the universe is not withholding it from you. It is simply responding to your vibration, and your vibration is shaped by your words. Speak abundance at all times. When you pay a bill, don't grumble. Say, "I give thanks that all my financial obligations are paid in full with ease." When you see something you desire but cannot yet afford, don't say, "I can't afford that." Say, "That is mine by divine right. I bless it and welcome it into my experience at the perfect time." This is not about pretending or fantasizing. It is about reprogramming the subconscious mind to accept wealth as normal, as natural, as expected. The subconscious does not understand sarcasm or subtlety. It records and accepts every word you speak, especially those spoken with emotion. Speak abundance with joy, with gratitude, with confidence, and you begin to plant the seeds of wealth in the garden of your mind. It is especially important to speak abundance when things appear tight. That is the testing ground of your faith. Anyone can affirm wealth when the bank account is full, but the true spiritual warrior speaks abundance when the outer world suggests the opposite. That is when the words take root in the deepest soil. That is when the old patterns begin to break. Do not let appearances deceive you. What you see now is only the result of past thoughts and words. If you want a different future, you must begin now to speak a different word. You must become vigilant. Lack-based language can sneak in subtly. A sigh when opening a bill, a joke about being broke, a casual remark about rising prices. These are not harmless expressions. They are agreements. Every time you repeat what the world says about scarcity, you join in that consciousness. You must separate yourself from the mass thinking that says there is not enough, that money is hard to come by, that wealth is for the few. Speak a new language. Create your own economy with your words. Say, I live in divine surplus. My supply is unlimited. Money is always circulating to me in joyful ways. The people around you may not understand. They may say you are unrealistic, naive, or in denial. Let them. You are not living by their truth. You are creating a new one. When you speak abundance, you begin to attract others who do the same. You shift the frequency of your life. You rise above the noise. The world may be shouting about inflation and recession, but you speak of overflow and multiplication. And in time, the world you live in will match your declaration. Speak abundance in every area, not just in finances, but in opportunity, creativity, joy, generosity. Speak abundance over your body, your home, your relationships. The law is universal. What you bless increases. What you curse diminishes. If you look at your finances and curse them, this isn't enough. This is a mess. I'm always behind. You are cursing your own harvest. Bless what you have. Give thanks for it. Say, this is just the beginning. Greater is coming. I am ready to receive more. And the universe will echo that tone and deliver accordingly. Let your words be rich. Let them be expansive. Let them overflow with the energy of possibility. Say, money comes to me easily. I am always provided for. I am in the right place at the right time for financial miracles. Everything I touch prospers. Every dollar I give returns multiplied. I am the channel through which divine wealth flows. Say it when you rise. Say it throughout your day. Say it even when you don't believe it yet. The belief will catch up. The subconscious is trained by repetition, not by logic. You must speak the abundance until it becomes your inner default. Speaking abundance is not about ignoring challenges. It is about choosing a higher power in the face of them. It is about standing in truth when facts look bleak. It is about aligning with the invisible law of plenty that undergirds all of creation. Nature does not ration. The ocean does not limit its waves. The sun does not count how many rays it gives each day. The universe is lavish, extravagant, abundant. You are part of that same intelligence. And the way you claim your portion is through your word. Speak it until it becomes. Speak it until the vibration shifts. Speak it until money must obey. Speak abundance, not lack. Faith activates the flow of money. This is not a metaphor, nor a poetic interpretation of spiritual law. It is a literal truth. Faith is the spiritual substance that acts as the switch between the invisible and the visible, between the realm of unlimited supply and the tangible currency that shows up in your hands, in your account, in your life. Faith is the invisible currency of the universe, and when it is strong, clear, and unwavering, it acts like a magnet to prosperity. It is not effort that brings money. It is not worry, stress, or even talent. It is faith, pure, confident, directed belief that knows without needing to see. Faith does not beg. It does not negotiate with circumstances. It does not check the bank account before speaking the word. Faith speaks first. Faith gives thanks before the manifestation. Faith sees beyond appearances and holds firmly to the unseen reality. Many believe that money is made through hard work, through connections, through luck. But those are just channels. The true source is spiritual, and that source responds to the energy of your conviction. When you believe, truly believe, that your needs are met, that supply is flowing, that abundance is your birthright, you activate the law of divine compensation. Faith is not a vague hope or a wish whispered in desperation. It is a bold, inner certainty. It is the spiritual backbone behind your affirmations. You may say, "Money flows to me," but if you say it with doubt, with tension, with disbelief, the vibration contradicts the words. Faith gives life to the word. It fuels the vibration. It makes the declaration real in the unseen before it is real in the physical. It tells the universe, "I am ready. I am aligned. I am open to receive." What to live by faith is to walk through your day as if the money is already on its way, even if there is no sign of it. It is to act as if the door has already opened, the check is already mailed, the opportunity already approved. It is to remain calm in the face of delay, certain in the face of uncertainty, secure when others would panic. This kind of faith cannot be faked. It must be cultivated. It grows through repetition, through practice, through consistent declaration. The more you speak words of abundance with feeling, the more faith begins to grow. It is like a muscle. The more it is used, the stronger it becomes. There is a reason that faith is emphasized in every spiritual tradition. Without it, nothing moves. Faith is the permission slip you give to the universe. It is the open door. It is the key that unlocks the vault of divine supply. You do not need to understand the mechanics of how the money will come. You do not need to map the route or manage the timing. You need only believe that it is done, that it is yours, and that the way will be made clear. Many people say they have faith, but they measure it by results. True faith does not wait for results. It creates results. It speaks the word, gives thanks and moves on, knowing that what has been spoken is now in process. It does not obsess. It does not beg the universe to hurry. It does not check the soil every hour to see if the seed has sprouted. It trusts the law. It trusts the process. It trusts the power behind the promise. Money is spiritual substance. It is not inherently material. It only appears in material form. But its essence is invisible energy, and it responds to the higher vibrations of gratitude, trust, and faith. Fear repels it, doubt delays it, anxiety blocks it, but faith draws it in. Faith opens the channel. Faith creates the vacuum that the universe rushes to fill. And that vacuum must be created through your belief, through your expectation, through your unwavering inner stance that says, "It is already done." When you worry about money, you are engaging in a form of negative faith. You are believing in lack. You are having faith in struggle. You are rehearsing a future of limitation. And because the universe does not judge, it responds to that faith just as readily as it responds to faith in prosperity. This is why it is so important to direct your belief consciously. You are always believing in something. The question is, are you believing in shortage, or are you believing in supply? To build faith in the flow of money, you must first become aware of what you have been placing your faith in. Listen to your inner dialogue. Do you often think, "There's never enough"? Do you assume something will go wrong just when things begin to go right? Do you believe money is hard to get, or that you have to fight to keep it? These beliefs are forms of faith, faith in misfortune. You must replace them with new declarations that align with the truth of abundance. Start saying, "Money flows to me easily and frequently. I always have more than enough. The universe supports me financially in every way." Say these things not just once, not just in the morning, but constantly, until the words are soaked with belief. As you do, a shift begins to occur. The energy field around you begins to lighten. Doors begin to crack open. A refund you forgot about arrives. A new client appears. A debt is forgiven. These are signs that your faith is working. They are responses to the new vibration you are holding. Act in faith as well. Give generously, even if the amount is small. Giving is a statement of abundance. It is a demonstration of faith that says, I live in a world of plenty, and what I give returns multiplied. Take inspired action without needing a guarantee. Apply for the opportunity, launch the idea, offer the service. Faith without works is dormant, but faith combined with movement creates momentum. The universe meets you at your level of willingness to believe and act. When you place your full trust in divine supply, you begin to see money not as something to chase, but something that comes to you through alignment. You do not need to manipulate, compete, or struggle. You do not need to hustle for every dollar. Instead, you hold the vibration of abundance and let the right people, opportunities, and resources find their way to you. This is not passivity, it is receptivity. It is magnetic, it is powerful. Train yourself to remain faithful in moments of doubt. When a bill arrives and fear rises, affirm, this is already paid by divine supply. When something breaks or a need arises, say, there is always more where that came from. When uncertainty clouds the future, speak clarity, I am always guided. Provision goes before me. These declarations are not wishful thinking, they are acts of faith, and faith activates the flow. Even in silence, your faith is speaking. Your posture, your decisions, your thoughts, all reveal where your trust lies. When you begin to live from a place of deep faith in abundance, you change your relationship with money. It no longer feels distant, limited, or conditional. It becomes part of your natural flow. It becomes a spiritual companion, responding to your inner certainty rather than your outer struggle. Faith is the first currency. It is what you spend before the money appears. It is the seed before the harvest. It is the word before the manifestation. When you walk in faith, speak in faith, give in faith, and rest in faith, you create an environment where money must appear, not because you forced it, but because the law was activated by your belief. Consistency in declaration unlocks prosperity. The spiritual laws that govern abundance are not moved by occasional inspiration or half-hearted affirmations spoken once in a while. They respond to steady, persistent, unwavering repetition. Your words are building blocks, and every declaration you make is either reinforcing the structure of prosperity or tearing it down. Many people begin to speak words of abundance when they feel desperate or motivated, but they do not sustain the vibration. They speak one day and forget the next. They declare prosperity with conviction in the morning and contradict it with fear and complaint by evening. Then they wonder why nothing changes. The universe does not reward randomness, it rewards consistency. It listens to your most repeated and emotionally charged expressions. If your consistent inner dialogue is filled with doubt, worry, and stories of lack, that becomes the blueprint the universe follows. If your consistent inner dialogue is filled with power, certainty, and gratitude for your ever-growing wealth, that becomes your magnetic field. Prosperity is not earned through effort alone. It is magnetized through aligned, consistent energy. The words you speak day after day train your subconscious mind to either allow or resist the flow of money. Repetition imprints. Repetition builds belief. Repetition moves invisible energy into form. Just as water carves stone over time with steady drops, your spoken word carves a new reality through its persistent application. You cannot say, I am wealthy, one time and expect the world to respond. That declaration must become part of your rhythm, your spiritual breath. It must saturate your language, your thoughts, your self-concept. The universe knows when you are merely trying something and when you are truly standing in a new identity. Consistency communicates commitment. It tells the universal law, this is who I am now, this is the truth I choose, this is what I expect. And when your expectation is strong enough, it becomes your experience. When you begin to speak declarations of wealth and abundance, your mind may resist. Old beliefs will rise. Your current reality may look unchanged. But the work is not to convince the world. The work is to stay in alignment until the world has no choice but to catch up. Most people quit too soon. They declare with excitement for a few days, and then fall back into old patterns when results are slow. They think the words didn't work, but in truth, it was the inconsistency that broke the chain of creation. Every time you speak from fear or doubt, you interrupt the signal. Every time you go silent, the vibration begins to fade. To keep the energy alive, you must speak the truth of abundance daily, hourly, even moment to moment when doubt tries to creep in. Consistency builds momentum. The more you speak your wealth into existence, the easier it becomes. What once felt foreign starts to feel familiar. What once seemed like fantasy begins to feel like destiny. Your inner dialogue becomes saturated with prosperity, and that internal shift produces an external change. You begin to walk differently, think differently, act differently. You no longer chase money, you attract it. You no longer fear bills, you bless them. You no longer feel guilty for wanting more. You understand that more was always meant for you. Your consistent declaration becomes a vibration that speaks louder than your history, louder than your surroundings, louder than your doubts. When you consistently affirm your abundance, even in small ways, you create a ripple effect in your environment. New opportunities begin to show up. People respond to you differently. Financial solutions arise without struggle. Money begins to move towards you because your energy no longer repels it with mixed signals. You become a clear, open channel. It is not about how loud or how eloquent your declarations are. It is about how steady they are. A quiet, unwavering statement spoken with conviction carries more power than a dramatic affirmation spoken once and forgotten. Say it simply. Say it clearly. Say it with feeling. And say it again. The power is not in the novelty, it is in the repetition. Just as the body responds to repeated exercise, the mind and spirit respond to repeated truth. You are rewiring your reality word by word. Start by choosing a few affirmations that resonate deeply with you. Make them your personal prosperity code. Say them when you wake up, when you go to sleep, and every time you feel tempted to speak fear. Let your declarations become your dominant conversation. Instead of rehearsing limitations, rehearse abundance. Instead of repeating complaints, repeat blessings. Let the truth of prosperity become so deeply rooted in your mind that it becomes impossible to think or speak otherwise. This is how patterns are broken. This is how new realities are born. Through the steady, disciplined, joyful repetition of divine truth. You may not see immediate results, but do not mistake delay for denial. The energy is moving. The structure is forming. The roots are growing deep before the shoot breaks through the soil. Keep speaking. Keep affirming. Keep declaring that you are rich, that you are supported, that money flows freely and frequently to you from all directions. The consistency of your word is what opens the gates. Even in moments of doubt, keep speaking, especially then. That is when the declaration has the most power. When fear tries to tighten its grip, your consistent word becomes the sword that cuts through it. Say, I trust my supply. Say, I am in divine alignment. Say, everything I need is already on its way. And do not stop. Let your voice become a drumbeat of wealth, a rhythm of riches, a song of success. Let it be so regular, so normal, so constant, that even your unconscious thoughts begin to echo the same frequency. You cannot declare abundance on Monday and speak defeat on Tuesday. The law responds to the dominant tone, and that tone is determined by what you say most often. It is the average of your words, not the highlight moments, that sets your point of attraction. If 90% of your speech is worry, 10% of affirmations will not shift your life. You must tip the scale. Flood your atmosphere with prosperity language until the old pattern drowns in the new sound. Let your words form a current too strong for lack to resist. Your consistent declarations are not just about money. They are about identity. You are not trying to get rich. You are remembering that you already are. Your wealth is not something you earn from the world. It is something you awaken within yourself. And the awakening happens through repetition. Every time you say, I am abundant, you are reminding yourself of your true nature. Every time you say, money comes to me now, you are calling back the power you once gave away. And with each repetition, your energy becomes more magnetic, more aligned, more powerful. Consistency is the sacred ingredient. It is the difference between wishing and creating, between dabbling and mastering. You don't need to say 1,000 different affirmations. You need to say a few with unwavering focus. Repeat them in the mirror. Write them in your journal. Speak them over your life. Make them your atmosphere. Let your declarations become your prayer, your meditation, your daily ritual. Let them carry you through uncertainty and anchor you in truth. This is how prosperity becomes inevitable. When your words no longer wobble, when your vibration no longer flickers, when your declaration becomes your reality. Repeat it until belief and manifestation align. This is the heart of spiritual practice in the realm of prosperity. Repetition is not about convincing the universe. It is about transforming your own inner state. The universe already operates in abundance. It does not need to be persuaded to give. What must change is the internal landscape of the individual. The thoughts, the beliefs, the emotional patterns that block or allow the flow of wealth. Repetition is the method by which you bridge the gap between intellectual knowledge and deep, cellular knowing, between saying the words and becoming the words, between wishing and embodying. Every time you repeat a truth, I am prosperous, money flows to me freely, I am open to receive, you chip away at the old beliefs that once held you in limitation. You dissolve the programs inherited from childhood, culture, religion, or personal experience that told you money is scarce, hard, or unspiritual. These beliefs are not eliminated with one declaration. They are deeply rooted patterns, embedded over years of reinforcement. But repetition is stronger than programming. When spoken with feeling, intention, and regularity, the truth begins to take hold. Not just in the conscious mind, but in the subconscious, the soil from which all manifestation springs. Repetition works through frequency. The more often you speak a new belief, the more familiar it becomes. The mind begins to accept it. The nervous system begins to relax into it. What once felt foreign begins to feel normal. You start to notice subtle shifts in perception, in emotional response, in decision-making. You no longer reject abundance with self-sabotage or unconscious guilt. You begin to feel worthy of wealth, not because you earned it through suffering, but because you aligned with it through truth. The process is rarely instant. At first, it may feel like you're lying to yourself. The words may feel hollow or forced. But that is the nature of transformation. You are not affirming what is, you are affirming what is becoming. You are training your vibration ahead of your circumstances. You are speaking from the future self, who already knows abundance as reality. That future self is not separate from you. It is waiting for you to rise to its frequency. Repetition is the stairway to that higher identity. You must repeat until the new belief becomes stronger than the old one, until the fear becomes quieter than the faith, until the words no longer require effort because they have become your default. Just as a path is worn into the grass by repeated steps, a new mental groove is created through repeated declarations. The more you walk that path, the clearer it becomes. Eventually, it becomes the only path. You forget the way of worry. You lose your attachment to limitation. You no longer identify with the version of yourself who doubted, feared, or felt unworthy. When belief and manifestation align, there is no delay between desire and demonstration. The moment you declare something and fully believe it, it begins to appear. The outer world becomes a mirror of your inner truth. This is why repetition is not just a practice. It is a spiritual discipline. It is the daily weaving of a new energetic fabric. You are constructing an identity that magnetizes wealth, not through effort but through alignment. Do not judge the process by speed. Some affirmations may click into place quickly, while others take longer. The ones that resist are revealing where the deepest healing is needed. They are opportunities to strengthen your practice, to go deeper, to reinforce the truth until it overpowers the lie. If you feel frustration, speak through it. If you feel doubt, speak louder. If you see no results, keep speaking. The invisible shifts before the visible. The roots grow before the fruit appears. Your job is not to force the outcome but to hold the frequency. Repetition is not monotony. It is sacred rhythm. Just as a heartbeat is repetitive yet vital, your spoken word becomes a pulse that feeds your energetic body. Every repetition sends out a vibration. Every vibration signals your readiness. The universe does not respond to words alone. It responds to the energy behind them. Repetition charges that energy. It strengthens the broadcast. It builds the magnetic field that pulls matching experiences toward you. To repeat without belief is simply noise. To repeat with belief that is still growing is practice. To repeat with unwavering belief is power. Each stage has its purpose. There is no need to pretend you are farther along than you are. Be honest with your vibration. Speak the truth even if your voice trembles. Speak it even if your circumstances argue against it. Speak it until your soul catches fire with conviction. Speak it until the new belief feels more real than the evidence of your eyes. Affirmations are not spells, they are agreements. You are entering into a new agreement with reality, one where money is not a struggle, but a natural expression of your divine inheritance. But an agreement must be signed with persistence. The universe takes your consistency as a signal that you are serious. That you are no longer entertaining conflicting stories. That you have chosen your truth and are willing to stand by it, no matter how things appear. When your inner conversation becomes one of wealth, ease, generosity, and trust, your outer life must eventually reflect that. There is no other possibility. But the conversation must be repeated, refined, and reinforced. You are becoming fluent in the language of abundance. Like learning any new language, fluency comes through practice. Mistakes will happen. Old phrases may slip out. But as long as the new language is spoken more often, it becomes dominant. It becomes the default. And from that default, new realities are born. Some days the words will flow effortlessly. Other days they may feel dry, mechanical, or even painful. Speak them anyway. The power is not in how you feel in the moment, but in the fact that you showed up. That you kept the rhythm. That you honored the truth even when the lie tried to return. Each repetition strengthens the signal. Each spoken word adds energy to the field. Each day you choose the truth, you are saying, I trust the process. I trust the law. I trust that my word creates my world. This is not about shouting into the void. It is about co-creating with a living, responsive universe. One that mirrors your dominant belief, your steady tone, your emotional frequency. When belief and manifestation align, it is because you have repeated the truth so often that it became your reality. Not through force, not through chance, but through devotion, through focus, through the power of your word, spoken in rhythm with your vision, until nothing else could take root. Repeat it until belief is no longer effort, but identity. Repeat it until the words are not just said but lived. Repeat it until you no longer wonder whether it is working, because you have become the embodiment of wealth itself.